Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see about review of Python basics. Last few videos we have discussed about DBMS and SQL queries. In this video we are going to start a new chapter and the chapter name is review of Python basics. Okay, so we are going to learn about Python and some basics about that. Okay, so let's move on to the topic. So the first one will be the introduction of Python. We know that Python is a language. With that we can develop some web pages or something else like other programming language. Python is a popular programming language and it was created by Guido van Rossum and released in 1991. And it is used for web development, that is server side, and you can develop any software using this Python language, and then this will be applicable in the field of mathematics, and it is nowadays it is used in artificial intelligence also, that is robotics. And one more thing is a system scripting. Okay, these are the platforms where you can use Python to develop that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So applications of Python. While seeing the applications of Python, what are the things is possible by using Python as a language? We can develop any web related things, and you can develop any games or 3D graphics. And business application, Python is used to create or used to develop any business application, and you can develop a software by using this language. And it is used to develop network programming as well as the database access. So let's move on to the advantages and disadvantages of using Python. Okay, so here I have listed the advantages of Python, that is the features of Python. So the first one, it is very simple and easy. Okay, so this is very simple one because it offers an easy to understand syntax. So it is easy to set up. The setup will be very simple, and it has many practical applications in web development. And there are excellent straightforward tools to work with the Python code, especially the interactive interpreter. That is the major thing. Because of that interactive interpreter, Python is called as a simple and easy to learn. Okay, you don't need to learn built-in system like IDE or special text editor or anything else to start using Python. All you need only a command prompt and the interactive editor. Because of these things, Python is called as a simple and easy to learn. Okay, and the next one is a Python is an interpreter language. Okay, why it is called interpreter language? In the sense, interpreter executes the code line, the code, whatever code you have typed, the code in the sense it is a program, right? So whatever you are going to execute, if the interpreter is going to execute the code line by line at a time. Okay, there is no separate compilation or execution steps like other language. So this makes debugging easy. Okay, this is how the Python is called as an interpreter language. Then one more thing is a cross-platform languages. Okay, so cross-platform in the sense you can integrate Python with anything easily. Okay, so Python can run equally on different platforms, such as you can run a Python program in Windows OS, Linux, as well as the Unix. So the platform doesn't matter. You can use this Python in any different kind of platform. Okay, so that's why it is called a cross-platform language, or it is easy to integrate. Okay, and the next point is a free and open source. Why it is called as a free and open source, or when we will say a particular language is a free and open source? Because you can freely distribute the copies of this software, or you can read the software source code, or else you can make any changes on it. Can you imagine of changing the source code of the language? That you can do here. Okay, that's why it is called as a free and open source. Okay, then the extensive libraries, that is a large library. Yes, of course, here we have a huge indeed standard library. So that is also a benefit of using Python. Then I told you already, integrated in the sense it can be easily integrated with a language like C or C++ or Java. And the database connectivity. Okay, Python have a database connectivity, that is, it provides an interface to all commercial database. You can integrate Python with any database. Yeah, of course, in our syllabus also we have a lesson, right? We are going to integrate SQL with Python. So you can, that is very easy. This Python provide an interface to all commercial databases. Okay, so these are the benefits or advantages or features of Python. Let's see the disadvantages of Python. If there is a positive, there will be a negative side, right? So likewise, Python also have some disadvantages, that is speed limitation. You couldn't able to run or execute more number of lines. Okay, so it is apt for a short program. It is not apt for the larger one. And weak in mobile computing and browser. We can develop any web application or something else, but since Python is underdeveloped in mobile computing and browsers. Okay, and the next one is a design restriction. There will be some restrictions on the design of Python, so that is also taken into account as a disadvantage. And one more thing is a underdeveloped database access layers. So that also a disadvantage of Python. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So working in Python, when you are working in a Python, we will be having two modes. Okay, one is a script mode and another one is an interactive mode. So there are two modes in Python. We can work on both the modes. One is a script mode and one is an interactive mode. Okay, let's see about the interactive mode. Interactive mode provides us with a quick way of running blocks or a single line of Python. Okay, let's see the pros of interactive mode. So pros in the sense, it is an advantage, right? So it is handy when you just want to execute basic Python commands. Okay, so and it is very helpful when your script is extremely short and it will give you the results immediately at the time. Okay, and I told you there is no execution process. So you just type a command and then press the enter key to get the result. That's it. Okay, and it is good for beginners. That's why the Python is called as a beginner's language. If the person who don't know anything on programming and he is going to learn Python as a first language, then definitely is gonna be a very simple language. He can easily understand that. Okay, and that's why it is called as a good for beginners. Python will be called as a beginner's language. Okay, and there is a disadvantage of interactive mode, that is editing the code is very hard. If you try to edit your code on that interactive mode, it will be quite harder. Okay, comparatively. Let's move on to the next one. So now we are going to see about the script mode. Okay, just now we have seen about the interactive mode. In interactive mode, I told you that it provides you with a quick way of running blocks. So if it is a script mode, just opposite. If you need to write a long piece of Python code, then interactive mode is not recommended. In such case, you have to use script mode. Okay, for a long piece of, if you want to write a long piece of Python code, then you have to choose a script mode. Interactive mode is apt for a short program. Okay, so here I have given the pros of script mode, that is easy to run a large piece of code. As I told you, script mode is used to run a large number of code, and then editing your script is easier in script mode. And this is what we said, that is a cons of interactive mode. In interactive mode, if you try to edit your code, it will be quite harder, but in script mode it is simple. Okay, comparatively it is simple, and this script mode is good for both the beginners as well as experts. Okay, And for script mode also we have a negative side, that is a cons. Here it must, you have, when you are trying to create or something else, when you are trying to execute something, first you have to create a file and you have to save it before the execution. Okay, if you want to execute something, first you should create that and you have to save that, then only you can execute in script mode. But in interactive mode there is no process like this. If you click on the run button, you will get an output. Okay, you don't want to create it, you don't want to save it, simply you can get the output. Okay, so this is the difference between the interactive mode and the script mode. So let's move on to the next one, token. So token, in the sense, it is an individual word or a punctuation marks are called tokens or lexical units. Okay, there is another name, that is lexical units. So token means it is an individual piece of word. Okay, so here I have given 4 types of tokens that is used in Python. So the first one will be the reserved words or keyword. Okay, and the next one will be the identifier, then literal and operators. Let's see one by one in detail. So the first one is a reserved word. Reserved word is called as a keyword. So keywords are the reserved words in Python. We cannot use a keyword as a variable name. You know that what is a variable name, what is a function name, or any other identifier. So keyword cannot be used as a variable name, function name, or any other identifier. And they are used to define the syntax and the structure of the Python language. Okay, and in Python keywords are case sensitive. If it is in lowercase, definitely you have to write it in a lowercase. If you have changed the case, you will get an error message. In some higher level languages also, keywords are case sensitive. Likewise here also, in Python also, keywords are case sensitive. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So here is a list of keywords that are used in Python. You just go through this. And next will be the identifiers. So identifiers are the names given to the fundamental building blocks in a program. Okay, what is meant by fundamental building blocks? Which means when you are getting the input or giving the input, likewise some fundamental blocks. In that, if you have given the name, that is called as a identifier. Okay, it can be a variable, it can be a class name, it can be a list or an object or dictionary or function or whatever. But it is a name. Okay, if it is a name, that will be called as an identifier. And here is the rules to write the identifiers. So the first rule is a sequence of letters and numbers. Your identifier should contain a sequence of letters and numbers. Special characters are not allowed. Okay, there is no special character can be used as an identifier except underscore. Underscore you can able to use as an identifier, but remaining special characters you couldn't use. Okay, that is not acceptable by Python. And keyword must not be used as an identifier. I told you keyword is a reserved word. It should not be used as a function name or variable name or something else. So here also the rule is you should not use a keyword as an identifier. And we know that Python is a case sensitive, so you have to use the correct case for the significant data. Okay, and your identifier must start with a letter or underscore. If it is an identifier, it should start with a letter or else it should start with the underscore. Okay, numbers and any other special characters are not allowed. So these are the rules for writing identifiers. Let's move on to the next one. So here I have given the valid identifier and invalid identifier. So we know that identifier should start with a letter or underscore, right? And only underscore is acceptable. Any other special characters are not acceptable. Just look at here, my file, there is no space and it is written like this. This is accepted. This is a valid one. But look at here, my dot file. Dot is a special character that is not allowed by the Python. So this is invalid. And here, so the second one, just look at this, my file, my M is written in the small letter and F is written in the capital letter. But there is no wrong in this. Okay, you can use like this. And here it is started with a number. So this is invalid. Okay, and here it is underscore, starting with underscore, here so starting with underscore. and here it is started with a letter. Okay, you can combine both the numbers, letters and numbers, but it should start with the number, or else it should start with the underscore. So this is also a valid one. And here in this both case, underscore is the beginning, right? And here is a list of invalid identifier. Just look at this. This is a dollar symbol that is not accepted because it is a special character. So this is wrong. And data hyphen rec. So hyphen is a special character. So this is also invalid. Then break. Why break is given an invalid identifier? Because break is a one of the keyword. So keyword you should not use as a identifier. And here they have used the symbol at. So this also not acceptable. And for is a keyword, so that also not accepted. Okay, so here through this you can understand which is a valid one and which is an invalid one. So let's move on to the next one. Literals or values. Okay, so literals in the sense it is often referred to as constant values. Okay, the values are very constant that have a fixed value. Okay, a literal is a constant value, but it have a fixed value. Understood? And literals can be divided into 5 types, that is string, numeric, boolean, collection and special. Okay, these are the 5 literals that we can be able to use in Python. Let's see one by one. So first one is a string. So strings are among the most popular types in Python. We can create them simply by enclosing the characters in quotes. Python treats single quotes the same as a double quote. Okay, in Python both the single quote and double quote are same. Okay, and you can create string as simple as assigning a value to a variable. If you assign a value for a variable, that is called a string. Okay, here I have given the example. Variable 1, that is var1 in the sense that is a variable 1 is equal to hello world, and hello world is attached between the single quote. Okay, and Python will treat the single quote is equal to the double quote. Both will be the same. Understood? Whenever you are creating a string, that should be enclosed in quotes. Okay, it may be a single quote or it may be a double quote. Okay, so let's see the next one. So here I have given single line string and multi-line string. There are 2 types of strings. One is a single line string and another one is a multi-line string. So single line string in the sense it will be terminate in one line, and here it will spread across multiple lines as a one single string. The string is single only, but it will spread across the multiple lines. Okay, for example, here they have given hello. Either you can attach it in the single quote or else you can attach it in the double quote. Okay, here it can be created in 2 ways. Okay, this if you write hello world, if you written like this, hello in the first line and world will be in the second line, then your Python will show you an error. If it is like this, Python will show an error. If you want to write in 2 ways, in 2 lines if you want to mention, then either you can use a triple quotation or else you can use backslash. Okay, for example, just look at here, text is equal to hello/world. Okay, and just look at this, this is another multi-line string. Okay, so likewise here you can use either triple quote. If you use, you don't want to use this backslash. If you use backslash, you don't want to use a triple quote. Okay, so in any one way you have to represent multi-line string. Okay, so let's see the next one. Numeric literals. So numeric literals in the sense, here we can see that 3 types of numeric literals. One is an integer and another one is a float and another one is a complex. So integers in the sense it should have positive numbers as well as the negative numbers, and there is no decimal point in it. Okay, and int can be represented in 4 ways that we are going to discuss later. Okay, in the next slide we are going to see that. So float in the sense everybody knows, if that particular number, if it contains a decimal point, that will be called as a float. And if it is complex, then it will be in the form of a plus ib, where a and b will be the float and I will hold any root value. Okay, so this is called a complex numeric literal. So let's see the integer values. It is further represented in 4 ways, that is a decimal value, binary value, octal value and hexadecimal value. Decimal value in the sense only 0 to 9. Okay, it is unless it starts with 0 till 9. Okay, that sequence of digits. And binary values, if it is a binary, only zeros and ones will be there. And if it is an octal value, 0 to 7, that is totally 8 digits you will get. And if it is a if it is a hexadecimal, the base will be 16. So you will get 0 to 9 and A to F. Either it may be a smaller case or it may be a uppercase. Okay, and learn the base also. Okay, for each and every value. For decimal, the base will be 10. For binary, the base will be 2. And for octal, the base will be 8. The hexadecimal base will be 16. So this also you have to learn. So let's see the next one. Boolean literal. Now we are going to see about Boolean literal. Boolean literal in the sense you will get only 2 answers. Either it may be a true or false. Okay, that is called a Boolean literal. And the next one is a special literal. The special literal is none. Okay, so none in the sense there is nothing. That is the meaning of none literal. Okay, and the next one is a operators in Python. So here I have given some operator. This operator is going to perform an operation on data. There are 7 operators in Python, that is a arithmetic operator, assignment operator, relational operator, logical operator, bitwise operator, membership operator, and finally identity operator. Okay, these are the 7 operators that can be used in Python. So let's see punctuators. Okay, so punctuators are a symbol or a character that has a syntactic or a semantic meaning to the compiler. It can be used in the programming language to organize the sentence structure. Only for the structure we are using the punctuators. Okay, and here I have mentioned some most common punctuators that we are using in the Python. Okay, and one more thing, punctuation marks, that is a dollar symbol and question mark, are not allowed in Python. Okay, except that too, the remaining symbols will be accepted by Python language. So the next one will be the commands. Commands in the sense it is additional readable information. If it is a command, the user should able to read that. Okay, and which is read by the programmer but ignored by the Python interpreter. Interpreter will not worry about the commands. So who's going to read out the commands? Only the programmer who has designed the program. They are going to read it, but the interpreter will omit it. Okay, and if it is a single line command, it can be inserted with hashtag. And if it is a multi-line command, it can be inserted with a triple quote or else by the apostrophe. Okay, by using any one, they can show their multi-line command. Okay, so the next one is a variables. So variables is a named location. Variable is a named location where you can able to store the data in the memory, or else you can say in a simple word that is a reserved memory location where you can able to store any values. Okay, so variable means it is a reserved memory location, and each variable must have a unique name called identifier. Okay, that variable name will be called as a identifier. And if you want to create a variable, you have to assign a value for a variable. That's it. Okay, for example, if it is my name, then you can enter your name within a single quote or a double quote. Okay, likewise you can assign a value to the variable. So variable means it is a reserved memory location. And in Python, variables do not need a declaration, but in some other higher languages like C or C++ or Java, you have to declare your variable in the beginning itself. But here you don't want to declare a variable. Here you don't want to declare a variable. It will be typed and it will be created dynamically. Okay, so variable declaration will be automatically done and we can assign a value to a variable, and Python create a variable of the type similar to the type of value assigned. For example, if it is age, definitely age will be the numeric variable, right? In age you cannot able to type any character or string, so it is a numeric value. Automatically the numeric type of value will be assigned to that variable. Understood? So it will create a variable of the type similar to the type of value assigned. Okay, so likewise it will be automatically it will be generated and it will create a memory space for that particular value. Okay, so I hope you all understand the basics of Python. Here we have covered a small part of the basics. In our future videos we are going to see the remaining things in under the topic review of Python basics. So thanks for watching. Thank you.